Hey everyone, so I will be doing a comparison of some of the microphones I have in my house. These are microphones that I've been buying over the last 10, 15, 20 years. They range from anywhere from very low cost entry microphones all the way up to some professional grade microphones that most people probably will not be able to justify buying. I will be comparing not just the microphones but also the type of interface that powers those microphones as a result. I'll be looking at, for example, the blue Snowball microphone, which is a USB powered microphone. I'll be comparing this Logitech USB powered microphone that's quite a bit older. I will be comparing some of these headset microphones that you get for your smartphone. This is a pair of Panasonic headphones that are pretty popular. I will be comparing the very best headset microphone out there, which is the Sennheiser 363D. Very best PC gaming headset microphone. And then I will be comparing also some Sony lavalier microphones that are professional grade. And to finish it off, I will be comparing it all to a Shure SM7B dynamic microphone, which is a professional grade microphone connected to some professional audio gear. So it's a full spectrum, and it's not a comparison between two very similar microphones, but a comparison between low end and high end. So up first is these Panasonic headsets. This is a headset that has the common headset output, the 3.5mm plug, earplugs, and this microphone, which is pretty standard. So this is a test of the Panasonic headset recording in AAC format to my phone. Okay guys, so this is a test of the Panasonic headset. I'm recording to a fanless desktop computer here at 16-bit PCM, 48 kilohertz via this Sennheiser USB sound card. So next up is this Sennheiser 363D headset. So this is a Sennheiser PC gaming headset. It's using a microphone here that has apparently sound noise cancellation on it. This is the best model that I know of for PC gaming. And it is actually what it is. It came with this Sennheiser USB card actually. So in this test, I am recording from my Sennheiser 363D microphone headset via a Sennheiser USB sound card into my fanless computer. So this is a test. So let's say you do have a headset and you want to connect it to your phone. Your phone has that one input and your headset has two outputs. What you'll have to do is you'll have to buy this adapter. It will connect to your phone. Okay, so this is a test of the Sennheiser 363D connected to a Motorola Moto 3G phone. So as you might have noticed, it sounds quite a bit nicer when I'm recording via the Sennheiser USB sound card into my computer directly instead of going to my phone over 3.5mm audio jack that way. One thing that I can actually do when I have a big meeting and I want to use my phone to call in on, or if I want to do some recording and I don't have my computer with me, I can actually buy something called an on-the-go connector. So this is what it looks like, and it converts the USB output from the Sennheiser into micro USB, and it allows my phone to treat it as a client device. If you're using Android 5.0 or newer, I believe, it will automatically detect that this is a sound device as well, which is fantastic in my opinion. And it actually is a benefit compared to some of the XLR microphones that require an XLR to USB adapter to do the same thing. Everyone can get a USB sound card that's pretty small and inexpensive and flexible. So let me just show you how this sounds like recording directly to my phone via the on-the-go connector and the Sennheiser. So this is a test of the Sennheiser microphone. I'm using a PC363D Sennheiser headset. I'm recording into the provided Sennheiser USB sound device, and I'm recording onto my Motorola 3G Moto phone via an on-the-go connector. I'm running Android 6.0. Okay, so next up we have this Logitech USB microphone. So I have it plugged into the fanless computer. This is a really old microphone at this point. It was a very good microphone for the time. So it's USB based by Logitech. It cost me about $20 at the time I bought it. This is a test of the Logitech USB microphone. I am recording at 16-bit PCM, 48 kHz, which is the highest this microphone can record. So this is a test of the Logitech USB microphone. I am recording at 16-bit PCM, 48 kHz. So next up we have this microphone. It is a blue Snowball. It's a USB microphone. There's a few different models of the Snowball, different colors and things like that. But there's also a model called the Snowball Ice. The Snowball Ice is missing this toggle switch here, which changes the pickup pattern. So on this one I have pickup pattern 1, 2, and 3. Pickup pattern number 1 is for like a soloist vocal podcasting style, so I'm leaving it set to that for this test. Snowball Ice will only, I think, have pickup pattern number 1. They won't have all the other options. But Snowball Ice will be cheaper. So yeah, it plugs in via USB, turns on a nice little red dot, and I'll be testing this out now. This is a test of the blue Snowball microphone. This is a test of the blue Snowball microphone connected via USB directly to my fanless mini computer. I'm recording at 16-bit PCM, 48 kHz, which is the highest this USB microphone can support. So this is a test of the blue Snowball microphone. So one of the things you might have noticed with the blue microphone is when I'm speaking closely to it, it tends to have a lot of pees and pops, like a type of sound, because I'm so close to the microphone. It picks up that wind noise from my voice. An easy solution to get rid of that is to buy this pop filter. It mounts onto the base of the microphone. It's not very expensive. You can make your own homemade versions of that are questionable, but still probably feasible. But buying a professional one works very good because you can use it in the future when you get better microphones. But I'm going to test this out now with the pop filter added. This is a test of the blue Snowball microphone. This is a test of the blue Snowball microphone being recorded at 16-bit PCM, 48 kHz over USB. So this is a test. Now another thing you can do to solve that pee and pop problem is to just move yourself back from the microphone, not speak so closely to it. There's a few challenges with that though. Although you do reduce the pees and pops, the microphone will have an internal noise floor. So it does create self-noise, and when you move yourself back, you have to increase the gain of the microphone, and that will then increase the noise. The microphone also is a condenser microphone, so it picks up noise in the room very strongly. Because of that, you need a pretty good room that's pretty well treated for this method to work. If you are in a noisy atmosphere and you are not speaking very closely to the microphone, you'll hear all the little background noises like your computer moving or your neighbors or things out in the yard. Now this is a cardioid pattern, so it tries to pick up just what's in front of the microphone, but it's still not a hyper or super cardioid, so it's not going to really eliminate all the room noises with that cardioid pattern. So we'll do a test here.
This is a test of the Blue Snowball microphone. I'm speaking to it from about a foot away. I'm recording at 48 kHz 16-bit PCM. This is a test of the Blue Snowball microphone.
So I'll increase the volume in software to make up for that lack of distance. So what you have to pay attention to is the increased noise that's introduced. Okay guys, so what we're going to be looking at next is this Sony ECM lapel microphone. So this is a lavalier microphone. It's the Sony ECM-77B. It's pretty small. It's not the smallest model that Sony makes, and it's not the best model either. It is a broadcast industry quality microphone though. So the idea is it will be pinned onto someone's shirt on TV or on documentaries or things like that. Now the main difference between these microphones and the microphones we've seen so far is that these microphones, these broadcast industry ones, generally use this thing called a XLR connector. So we're not using these 3.5mm adapters anymore. We're now using these really heavy duty audio cables, and they're special. They have balanced, what they call balanced audio, so it reduces noise over the wires. Just much higher quality audio cables than what we've seen so far. Now they do need power to power these microphones. Now the USB microphones we've seen so far and all the computer ones do actually run off power too. The sound card or the USB interface provides 5 volts DC to power them. These professional grade ones need negative 48 volts DC to power, and that's called phantom power. This particular model of microphone by Sony can run off of battery phantom, or it can run off a external supplied power. So again, you can't plug these really into your computer because your computer doesn't have an XLR connector. So in this case, I'm connecting it to a mixer, an audio mixer, and this audio mixer has 4 XLR inputs on the top of it. So I can put 4 different microphones in it and mix it all together. The mixer also has a preamp for each channel that will take this very low level signal that the microphone produces and amplifies it up to a level that my computer can use. So I bring it up to what we call line level. This particular microphone needs a lot of gain, so I pretty much have to turn the preamp to the maximum on my mixer here. And what that does is it does introduce a little bit of noise. The microphone is also omnidirectional, which means that it picks up noise in all directions largely. So if you have a noisy room, a computer fan or something like that going, unlike the other microphones we've seen so far, this does not have a directional pickup, so it will pick up, again, everything in the room. So these are very difficult microphones actually to end up using. You need a well audio treated room, acoustically treated room, so you don't get noise bouncing off the walls or noise from a computer. You also need a preamp to power it, so you need a good one because this one needs a lot of preamp juice. And then to connect it to your computer, you have to figure out a way to take the audio that's now amplified and bring it into your computer. The mixer I have has a FireWire output, so if your computer supports FireWire, you can convert the audio into digital format and send it over FireWire. The computer I'm using does not have FireWire though, so I'm actually using this device here called a Audio M-Track 2 USB interface, and that takes in audio over what we call balanced TRS cables, or 1/4-inch audio cables, and it then converts the audio that way into a digital format at 48 kHz 24-bit, which is higher than what we've seen so far also. So far we've seen 16-bit, 24-bit is a much higher quality. You're not going to be able to hear the audio quality difference, how that 48 kilohertz 24-bit recording over YouTube, because YouTube tends to only play back at 16-bit. But it's not meant for that. It's meant more for post-production flexibility. So we'll do some testing here with this microphone, and what I'll be doing is I'll be holding it here as if it was a lapel microphone, and then we'll be doing a couple other experiments with this microphone to see what you can do and use it for. I bought it because I do a lot of video work, and when you're doing video work, you don't want a big microphone in your face. You don't want to have to deal with shotgun microphones indoors if you can help it. So I bought two of them so I can do like interview style discussions and have a lot of flexibility. So if I move around, I'm not going to have a change in audio quality. Really difficult to use in my opinion, but I wanted a pair anyways. Okay, so let's get started.
This is a test of the Sony ECM-77B lavalier microphone. This is a test of the Sony ECM-77B lavalier microphone. I am recording at 24-bit 48 kilohertz over a Mackie mixer into an M-Audio M-Track 2 USB device. The gain is set to about line level.
So what we'll be doing next is I'll be taking the microphone, I'll be putting a little foam windscreen on it, and then I'll be putting it behind this windscreen here. And I'll be talking into it as if I was talking into the other microphones from just a couple inches away. And this will hopefully reduce the background noise because I will be able to turn down the gain quite a bit. And this is just to show that these Sony ECM microphones can still be used for doing voiceovers and things like that. They don't have to be used as a lavalier microphone if you put foaming material on the microphone.
So this is a test of the Sony ECM-77B lavalier microphone. This is a test of the Sony ECM-77B lavalier microphone. I am recording at 24-bit, 48 kilohertz into a Mackie mixer, and then into an M-Audio M-Track 2 USB device. So this is a Sony ECM-77B lavalier microphone test.
Okay, so what we have up next, guys, is this beauty. It is a Shure SM7B dynamic microphone. So this microphone is pretty popular on YouTube, and podcasters love it. You have Joe Rogan, you have NPR, I think I've seen it on BuzzFeed. It's also used by some artists, like Michael Jackson's Thriller album used this. So it's an old microphone. It's a pretty popular one. It's great for vocals, things that have very dynamic sounds. I think it's very attractive, which is why I like it. I do a lot of video work, and so I want something that doesn't look too ugly. It's black. It kind of doesn't bring too much attention to itself. It has a nice rich sound that still holds clarity. And overall, it's one of my favorite microphones, so we'll be comparing it. There aren't too many microphones that are better than this in the realm of podcasting. You have like the RE20, and anything beyond the RE20 or this probably. Anything better than those you might only see in studios or with certain special applications or certain special voices. Like the Sony lavalier microphones, this one also does require a XLR connector. It also requires a preamp. So again, I'm using the Mackie mixer as the preamp. The Mackie mixer is outputting to this M-Audio M-Track 2 USB interface, which is then grabbing all the audio to my computer. The preamps are pretty maxed out again, so it's a very low signal output microphone. So if you don't have good preamps, you're going to get a lot of background noise. It is a cardioid pattern, so unlike the lavalier microphones, it only picks up audio in the front. So that's kind of nice if you're dealing with a noisy location. This will hopefully reduce that background noise. It cost me $400 Canadian. You might be able to find it $300 used. US, that's like $350 US new. So it's not cheap. And then once you add in all the audio equipment you need to power it, it adds up pretty quickly. Easily over $500 US, I'd say, to run this microphone. Okay, so we'll do some tests though. I have the windscreen on that's designed for close talking. There's two different windscreens, one for far, one for close. Yeah, so let's check it out.
This is a test of the Shure SM7B dynamic microphone. This is a test of the Shure SM7B dynamic microphone. I'm recording into a Mackie mixer, which is preamplifying the sound. It is then outputting over TRS 1/4 inch balanced cables to a M-Audio M-Track to USB audio interface. I am capturing the audio in Audacity at 48 kHz, 24-bit PCM. I have set the audio peak to line level as best I can at the preamp. So again, this is the Shure SM7B dynamic microphone. So this is a test of the Shure SM7B microphone without the bass roll-off enabled. Before I had the bass roll-off enabled, this is without the bass roll-off enabled. So this is a test of the Shure SM7B microphone without the bass roll-off from about a foot away.
So there you have it, guys. Thank you for watching all that. In case anyone is curious, I'm using a Panasonic TM900. It is an example of what you can get from an onboard audio solution in the right environment, but it's in no way comparable to the Shure SM7B for doing close talk type of intimate type of situations, but I'll leave it up to you if you think the onboard solution is adequate.
So this is a test of the Panasonic headset recording in AAC format to my phone. Okay guys, so this is a test of the Panasonic headset. I'm recording to a fanless desktop computer here at 16-bit PCM, 48 kHz via this Sennheiser USB sound card. Okay, so this is a test of the Sennheiser 363D connected to a Motorola Moto 3G phone. So in this test, I am recording from my Sennheiser 363D microphone headset via a Sennheiser USB sound card into my fanless computer. This is a test of the Logitech USB microphone. I am recording at 16-bit PCM, 48 kHz, which is the highest this microphone can record. This is a test of the Blue Snowball microphone. I'm speaking to it from about a foot away. I'm recording at 48 kHz, 16-bit PCM. This is a test of the Blue Snowball microphone. This is a test of the Blue Snowball microphone connected via USB directly to my fanless mini computer. This is a test of the Blue Snowball microphone being recorded at 16-bit PCM, 48 kHz over USB. This is a test of the Sony ECM-77B lavalier microphone. This is a test of the Sony ECM-77B lavalier microphone. So this is a test of the Sony ECM-77B lavalier microphone. So this is a test of the Shure SM7B microphone without the bass roll-off from about a foot away. This is a test of the Shure SM7B dynamic microphone. So this is a test of the Shure SM7B microphone without the bass roll-off enabled.
So as I demonstrated, you can record using an on-the-go connector with a USB audio device like the Sennheiser's sound card. You can, however, also then record with USB microphones like the Yeti or the Snowball here. And that will let you use a USB on-the-go connector to record directly to your phone. Some of the devices, like with my phone, didn't provide enough power to actually turn the microphone on. So I had to buy either a separate Y connector, on-the-go connector that I can plug into a USB charger to provide additional power, or in my case I actually used a USB powered hub to provide more power to power the Snowball to my phone. And that's pretty awesome. It's nice because my phone doesn't have a fan, so I can record in a very quiet closet without needing a computer or any fans around. I do have a fanless computer, so it doesn't affect me very much in this studio. But I also have this M-Audio M-Track player, and I might want to go remote and record with an XLR based microphone like my Shure somewhere remotely, and I may not have a very expensive field recorder with me, so I can just use an on-the-go connector, a USB charger or USB hub, and then record directly to my phone that way, and that's fantastic. Part of why I wanted to do this video is actually to do a review myself of all my microphones, and I was actually very surprised by how well these cheap Panasonic $12 headphones I got performed when I connected them to that Sennheiser USB sound card. So I'll probably end up trying some experiments in the future where I'm going to wrap some foam around the microphone so I don't get the plosives, the pees and pops. I was also really impressed with the Snowball. It compared very favorably to my very expensive Shure microphone. The only catch was I needed to put a pop filter on. If I don't put a pop filter on it, it's a pretty worthless microphone to me. But with the pop filter, it sounds like a $500 microphone in some ways. You also don't have to worry about all the expensive mixing gear, all the expensive preamps. It does everything in-house, which is fantastic. The Snowball Ice I haven't tried, but it's a very cheap microphone, which is based off this microphone. It comes in a variety of really cool colors, so I actually would strongly recommend that to anyone doing podcasting or voiceovers. As for the Shure microphone, it's very expensive. I wouldn't really recommend it to most people unless they knew what they wanted exactly. You really know, you need the equipment, you really need to know what you want to make that a worthwhile purchase. Still, I thought it was my favorite microphone from the test. It's just incredibly difficult to get set up properly, and it's also very expensive. The Sony ECM microphone was pretty good once I put the pop filter on. It could work very well with certain voices, and so I think it's a great microphone to have. It's a lavalier microphone, but despite that, it can be used for voiceover. And I was a little bit disappointed with the quality of the Sennheiser 363D microphone. It didn't do very good for my voice. However, it didn't carry a lot of bass either, and that works pretty well when you're doing online gaming. You really want that treble to be transmitted and not so much the bass, which gets kind of muddy when you're doing high compression video. So for what it's designed for, online gaming VoIP, the 363D is a great microphone still, I'd say, but it's not good for doing voiceovers or podcasting. So you might be better off getting a mod mic for $80 or $50 if you want to modify an existing headphone into a high quality gaming headset. So that's another option. And yeah, take care again, guys.